Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Yeva. I've got another process video for you guys today. I have a double page layout and I'm using Pink Paislee 5th and Monaco. Now this is my second layout using this collection. If you guys seen my haul video, I talk about how these are totally not colors that I'm drawn to naturally, but I am working on some photos that we went to Vegas this past February, and I just really want to document these photos, this trip, and these colors worked perfectly. And especially I was really drawn to this dark polka dot with the floral, and I had this vision of splitting it but then rotating it not the way it was designed on the page. And so as you can see there, I'm really happy with that. I really saw my vision and it worked out. Anyways, and so right here I'm trying to figure out adding some more color into it. That diagonal print looked really busy, but I really was determined to add more color to this and not just a solid. And so I decided to go with that stripe and add this really hot pink because Vegas, why not? And it was a night out, our first night out in Vegas. And so I definitely wanted to feel like it was, obviously the photos are dark and you can see that it's nighttime, but I obviously wanted the page to really reflect that and have that mood that it was nighttime, but it was bright, it was colorful, and that's why I decided to go with that black and white and in all these colors. I had this idea of also splitting I love how Crop-A-latte, if you guys ever seen their layouts, how they have so many great layouts, and I'm really inspired by them. And this is how this layout came to be, was I was inspired by one of their layouts. And so I was thinking about splitting those pink strips and separating them and have just like these layers but are separated, not touching. And so I was just laying it out. Just before I commit, I was just looking at it and figuring out what I like. But in the end, I don't like it because if you can see between the photos, there's that little gap of white. And for me, it drew my eye into that. Kind of like, oh, there's a really bright white spot. And it just really drew my eye into it. So I decided not to, of course, and just connect everything and just make it flow from like dark out to the light. So it doesn't feel too heavy of just dark, busy photos, dark photos, things like that. And I'm a big believer of not wasting paper, but yet I have a ton of paper, so I don't know if that works out for my favor or not. But I'm a measure twice, and cut once kind of gal. So here I'm really fidgeting with that, trying to figure out what size to cut. But I just repeat everything. What I did on the left side, I repeat on the right side, and it really worked out. But when I did cut it, as you can see on the left side, the photo really lined up with my the colors, and it didn't feel natural. I think Chamel teaches us really well about offsetting it, make it look really purposeful, where you just laid a stack of papers on the table, and it just looks natural versus all lined up and neat and kind of almost. It doesn't almost feel natural, yes? Where this is just a little staggered, a little off balance, not balanced, but staggered, and it feels good and it flows. So I just raise it up a little bit and it works out in the end. I am trying to figure out what journaling card I want to put up there because I have a little bit of a story to tell about our first night there and just the overall feeling of just the first day. And I was thinking about using that black and white and then just covering it, but it's such a pretty paper, I didn't want to use it. So I decided to use some pink scraps that I had, and I just cut out a plain white box to fill it in. Eventually I'll go back and fill it in with my journaling. You guys, I'm the worst at journaling. I will leave it till the last thing, but I'm trying to be really good, and before I put it away into my albums, I try to journal. There's a little helper in the right side. If you can see, there's an extra hand. My little guy decided to help me with the stickers. He loves stickers. So we have a little visitor. And so I just carry on with the title as he helps me. He's a sweet little guy, but I end up cutting off the video just so I can give him the attention he needed. And I keep my titles for this one pretty straightforward. Las Vegas at night. I mean, looking by the photos, you can tell it's Las Vegas, But there's a lot of different little stories that I was kind of hoping to mention in my journaling later on. And there's a lot of different emotions of just being overwhelmed, just being like wow and awe, but then overwhelmed and so much to see. So there's a lot of different emotions going on, and I I just keep it simple. Sometimes you just need to keep it really simple and not overthink it with the titles, and so I just keep it Las Vegas at night. Now I did put my dark papers, photos on white cardstock. So I love adding those, as you can see, as you saw. I did a double line with my pen. It kind of feels like it's not floating. All those photos and layers are not just floating. It feels like it's a little bit more connected, and it's meant to be there. And so I pull out the paper ephemera pack, yeah, and I just start fidgeting to see what I can come up with. I really didn't have much of a plan other than that black paper with the floral and my photos and just kind of bringing it all together. But as far as embellishments, I had no idea. So I really just start playing. I see what's in my pack. I love working within the collections, as you might have noticed from my previous videos. I'll just pull out the whole collection, and what's there is what I'm going to use. I mean, once in a while, I'll obviously put thickers or extra vellum or whatnot, but I don't know. I just love how it all coordinates and works together. I did consider fussy cutting a bunch of flowers that are like those in the not black paper. There's a big beautiful floral paper, and I was considering fussy cutting those and just layering it up and just making more of that floral, but the photos themselves were busy and I didn't want to overwhelm it too much, so I decided on these white fussy cut flowers that I did fussy cut earlier. But I love how it kind of draws the white from the edges into the center, or if you think of it as a canvas, right, it draws it into the photos and just connects it all. And yes, I'm gonna add vellum. I don't know if you guessed it, raise your hand. I love vellum circles. But I was thinking about this. I think it's just adding circular elements. It doesn't have to be vellum or, these rings or whatever you want to call it. I think it's about adding a circular element to your 3 clusters of embellishments. Because when there's a lot of harsh edges, 90 degrees, there's a lot of them, as you can see, but that's just adding a little bit of something circular softens it, makes there to be a flow, and yeah, I love adding circular elements. So I just decided to continue. I'm really liking the way it's looking and decided to commit. I'm going to add dimensional adhesive to my florals and some of my butterflies, and of course I stick it to my photo. Oh, hey guys, I was so frustrated with it because I was just in the home run. I was so close to being done, and then I stick the dimensional adhesive to my photo, and that stuff is like, it's glue. It's done. So I'll just have to reprint the photo, but I was so frustrated with it. And I was thinking about like adding layers and patching it up, but I would cover too much of the photo. If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't have been a problem, but oh, it is what it is. We carry on. But yeah, I'm pretty much finishing up the layout, just fidgeting with a few of the different elements, and I added that big butterfly by the title, so I'm just going to carry it on to the other side again, just repeating things and carrying it to both layouts. It just treated as one canvas, and I have those 3 different spots, the triangle to keep your eye movement going through those 2 pages. Again, think of it as a one large canvas of 12 by 24. And the last few things that I always do, not always, but a lot of times, is definitely date my pages. If it's double page, I'll date it on both pages. And of course, I'm going to add some gold mist because this is Vegas. Hey. And of course, my title's gold. So there you go. Tie it all together, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this layout. Join me next Wednesday for another layout. And if you have any questions or comments, please do leave them down below. I'd love to answer them. And yeah, just like, subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Have a great one, guys.